on day 9 and being the last day of Big Trip 2010, it was pretty straightforward. We got up and packed our belongings into our side luggage and carried them down to the bike, snapped everything on, and then after that it was time to hit the road.
There really wasn't a whole lot to day 9. We got up in the morning, had breakfast at the hotel, and just as we were pulling out of the parking lot, we looked up at the windows and saw the other boys from Edmonton waving at us. So we waved goodbye to them and hit the road. It really wasn't far out of Pincher Creek that Hammy and I said our goodbyes. He kept heading east and I turned north along the number 2 to head back home.
So after getting gas and cruising past Fox Valley, I headed north towards Kindersley and the highway heading east to Saskatoon. I think it's the number 7. Headed north towards the number 7, picked up the new highway at Kindersley, and proceeded east to Saskatoon. Stopped and got gas again at Rosetown, and that was about it for Big Trip for me.
Although my ride home was pretty boring as much as there wasn't anything to film, it gave me a lot of time to think. Time to think about the trip we had just been on, some of the trips we had done in the past, and hopefully the trips that we're going to do in the future. Well, it was to that end that actually Hammy and I got together over the holidays and managed to talk a little bit about what happened in 2010 and what we'd like to try to do for 2011.
Highlight for you? Highlight? Highway 20 coming east across Washington.
Yeah, that was Beauty Road.
Yeah, that was by far our best day of riding. I enjoyed that we weren't on the for the first our whole way west. I found we were on the interstate the whole time, and that didn't bother me, but it wasn't my favorite. Well, how about Anacortes?
Yeah, our destination. What was your impression? Here's something I'll throw out right away about Anacortes or the entire San Juan Islands. Don't make the mistake that we did. And we thought we were being clever because we gave ourselves one whole day where we didn't really have to make any distance the other way. Still not enough time.
Yeah.
Still not enough time. One of the highlights for me, non-riding highlights anyway, was Yak. I had an absolute blast when we were in Yak. And it was great to see some buddies, some familiar faces, and make some new friends. That was actually one of the highlights of Yak for me, was making friends with some of the locals over at the Yak River Tavern. Bubba.
Bubba, I was going to give a shout out to Bubba too. He was by far the superstar for the Yak people, mostly because he was the easiest guy to remember.
But everybody we met was great and super friendly, and Jamie, first of all, we got to give a big thanks to Jamie for night one.
Our night 1 in Medicine Hat. After my 500 kilometer trip on day 1 turned into just about 700 kilometers with that detour.
The next day would have been to Spokane, where Wyoming Joe.
Yeah, Wyoming Joe.
And Ranger Nick, who first kind of helped us out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Sold us some
wood. With the wood.
And then after Bayview, it would have been all the way to Curlew. Yeah. And that was a pretty full day because we met Tracy that day. Big thanks out to Tracy for meeting us and giving us the 411 on the area. Great guy.
Yeah, exactly. If we ever go back to that Okanagan County country, we can. We know there's some great roads we can ride in there, and if it's anything like the Gang Ranch road area, it's going to be beautiful country.
Again, really friendly. I can't get over how friendly. Everybody we run into is super, super nice. The next day would have been easy money, and the entire community of Yak. Our trips, the last 3, have all looked fairly similar.
Yeah, we've always gone west, ended up on the coast, had seafood, and turned around.
Yeah. So that's something that we're going to try to change for 2011, although I have to say try because we're still months and months away, and if history is any teacher, our destination will change about 3 times between now and then. But right now, we're looking for kind of a Yellowstone, Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, Mount Rushmore, Yellowstone, and then up into Alberta from there.
So that's pretty much it. That's Big Trip 2010, all done.
I'd do the trip almost over again. I'd get on my bike right now and do it, except there's a foot of snow outside and it's minus 25.
It was another great trip. I can't imagine doing these trips with anybody other than my good buddy Hammy. We always have a blast. There's another one in the plans right now. 2011 is scheduled to go ahead in about mid-June, so stay tuned.
This it, forget it, let it all disappear. Waiting for the
You know, certainly there's, you know, we did a lot of fun and exciting things, met some great people. You know, we met Wyoming Joe, Ranger Nick, you know, the ranger at Curlew Lake, you know, like, oh, the list goes on and on. You know, Lumberjack Joe, who helped us out with the fire. You know, we certainly met lots of great and interesting people. And surely again, if the roads were fantastic. Washington's a great state to ride in.
What was left when that fire was gone? I thought it felt right, but that right was wrong. All caught up in the eye of the storm, and trying to figure out what it's like moving on. And I don't even know what kind of things I said. My mouth kept moving and my mind went dead. So picking up the pieces now, where to begin? The hardest part of ending is starting again.
When we made a lot of friends along the way this time, and even met a few old friends along the way. So right off the bat, I want to thank Scott and Dan and Steve and Rob, all the gang from Yak, Chatty Cathy on the ferry, Tracy and Twist, anybody and everybody that had anything to do with this trip. It was, again, another great time. It was, you know, 9-10 days of my life that I wouldn't trade for anything. I also want to thank everybody who watches on YouTube. I love getting comments and responses on these videos. I think it's great that other people are watching these. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. Hopefully it'll be a lot more.